Medical school and residency can really be daunting, causes lots of people to get into debt. You know the rest of the story. But it could be different because about 39% of residents and sometimes senior medical students have the opportunity to be able to gain side hustles, such as working on telehealth platforms that significantly increases what they make, because residency salary is penny change, and for medical students, worst of all, you get nothing, but you are in debt. We will dive straight into telehealth side hustles for medical residents across North America. And if you're new to this channel, I am an internal medicine resident at the University of Calgary. Let's dive right into it. But just before we go, please hit like and subscribe. We have lots of cool stuff as well in our description. Check those out if you're looking for how to prepare for your MCCQE Part 1 exams or your NACOSKI exams, or you're looking at even matching into Canada in CARMS, or you're looking at ERAS or passing your Step 2 CK exams in Step 1, check out our description. If you like and subscribe, I promise we will give you much more in-depth information tailored towards your specific need. Ask us what you want in the question section, and I promise we'll get back to you. Now let's get back to it. Naturally, residents work long hours per week. They are the building block or the main bone behind healthcare systems, especially in our teaching hospitals. And they see patients essentially and perform a lot of everything that happens as they train and progress throughout their residency. But again, pay does not equate to what residents have to go through, and a majority of residents are usually starting a young family. They have kids, they have a spouse and a partner, and they have a home that they have to take care of and they have to provide. So it's usually difficult. In today's video, we'll dive into 7 side hustles that you as a resident and a medical student you can do in order to put in a little bit of money in your pocket. So number 1 will be researcher and medical surveys. There is a huge market for research and medical surveys. When I talk about research, I'm not essentially talking just about big pharma, but I'm talking about little research groups, university research groups, individual startup companies. There are lots of platforms that do share and connect the clinical world and the pharmaceutical world, like SEMO, SEMO. Companies actually share insight with the clinical world and the pharmaceutical world, or even Med for Life, and they do offer lots of survey where products from the pharmaceutical company going into our healthcare systems. They want to get feedback. They want to know how their product is working, both feedback on the patient side and the healthcare worker. They need information so that this information can be channeled back, and then they could work together with their reimbursement and insurance companies to get back the overheads from this product. Usually surveys and being able to conduct some of these surveys in our pastime can really be very, very helpful. And these platforms such as SEMO and Med for Life do offer hourly rates of about $50 to $150, depending on what you are doing, on how high you are in your training. And the good thing with this is that it is really flexible. You can do this between shifts or when you're your day of call, and it really gives you that skill on the good brighter side that you're able to critically appraise information, you're able to critically think, keeps you up to date with what is happening in the industry and even with your clinical practice, because we're moving from the traditional medical practice into a more evidence-based and evolutionary medical practice, with the introduction and the use more and more of AI in medicine and precision medicine, and using of systems like CRISPR-Cas and gene editing. All of these things are novel technologies that's getting incorporated into medicine at a faster rate, and you working on this platform and having this information is an added advantage on top of the pay that they give you with a good hourly rate. There's a resident that I know that works down in Texas, and they are able to make almost $3,000 to $4,000 per month just on SEMO by doing lots of survey, and they have lots of knowledge about research as a result of doing this. So this will be a good opportunity, and I've left the link in the description as well. The next thing, number 2, will be asynchronous telemedicine. Asynchronous telemedicine, and if you have a partial license, that might be okay for you. And what happens is that you get to review patients' chart, you answer the questions that some patients have, mostly usually not in hospital patients, but like out clinic patients. And then sometimes you can e-prescribe, and your supervisor or the preceptor that is in charge of those patients will co-sign it, and then the patients will get the prescription. You can sign up on platforms such as the Easy Clinic or the Maple platform in Canada, and you'll be working under a supervised physician, and you earn somewhere around $30 to $80 an hour. And the benefits is that there's no real-time patient interactions, and you work at your own pace, and you can build diagnostic skills just by working on this platform, and you can get lots of familiarity with healthcare tools and electronic medical records. This is really an added advantage. And some platforms allow you to increase workload during lighter academic periods. So say you're on a vacation, you can increase your workload at that time. And sometimes if you're also like on your academic half day of when you have time and there's no lessons, then you can spend a lot of time on this platform, and this will help you a little more. Number 3 is health coaching. You don't need any license for this one particular, but you just guide patients on wellness, chronic disease management such as diabetes and hypertension. You have platforms like BetterHelp, Coach Me, where you can easily apply for these different positions. And you don't essentially really diagnose here, but you really participate in coaching them for lifestyle modification and showing them exactly how to do it. And you earn somewhere from $40 to $100 an hour. And this is really helpful in the sense this directly impacts clinical life, changes their trajectory, and reduces the disease burden on them. And it connects you with the professionals in preventative medicines as well, because you have lots of interactions with them, and it's useful for future specialties like family medicine, endocrinology, or like core complex internal medicine if you're looking at something like that. So again, these are really huge opportunities, not only learning, but at the end of the day you make a little bit of cash, which is what you're already learning and doing anyways. Number 4, medical content creator. Medical content creator, you don't really need to have any license to be able to do it. There's many different YouTube channels. What you can do is that you can pick a niche based on what you see there's really lacking out there, or maybe your patients have some problems and you actually really want to fix it. Start making little videos to educate your patients, to educate the general population about certain things. Maybe there's vaccine hesitancy because of some specific reasons. You debunk all the misinformation that's online, some stuff like this. There's lots of information that we as healthcare professionals do have that the commoner doesn't really have. And health is wealth. Health is even beyond wealth, because when COVID hit and lots of people had health issues, when they were in a ventilator, it didn't matter whether they were a billionaire, a millionaire, a trillionaire, or they had essentially zero, or they were in debt by a billion. It didn't really matter, is were you going to survive or not. So health is really important, and so being able to give people information that can better their health from a preventative and lifestyle modification standpoint, this will go a long way, a lot to help. The 5 point would be telehealth support roles. There's many of such roles out there, like assist licensed MD with admin related stuff, say scheduling, maybe triaging patients depending on they need to be sent for a specific test or to a specific location to see a specific doctor for a specific procedure. You can do that. And platforms like Well in the US and Synaptic Cure that work in neurodegenerative care can offer you such opportunities, and usually they pay about $25 to $60 an hour. There's lots of benefits of working on these kind of platforms, in that you work with psychiatrists, with neurologists, and you get lots of exposure. And this could be a trigger point for you. Let's say you're doing general or internal medicine, or even family medicine. This could be a point where you decide that, oh, I want to pivot and I want to do some of these different things, because in the process you would actually learn a lot. You electronic records as well, and you learn a lot about Epic, for instance, which is really widely used in the US and Canada, and some telehealth compliance issues, such as you learn about the HIPAA compliance or the GDPR, and often you are able to lead full-time tele-platform roles, and post-residency you can be able to actually manage these platforms, and there's many people who are working on these. Number 6 point, medical legal review. Reviewing insurance claims or legal cases for firms needing medical expertise is really something that can be very helpful, and sometimes your expertise can be used, and sometimes these people really charge and pay you high. You can get up to about $100 to $300, but mostly when you evolve in your medical field, or if you're really knowledgeable about a specific field, then this can really be helpful for you. Minimum time that you have to commit for high pay should really be somewhere around 4 hours per week, or sometimes you can spend about 4 hours per review, which would take you to somewhere about $1,000, depending on how much they're paying and how high stake that particular case is. And this is really something that you can do. And the good thing with this is that it enhances your medical knowledge and your interest in complex medical cases, because you're going to be a physician yourself and you might encounter some of these things. And so really having first-hand knowledge in terms of how cases like this in the medical legal space are handled will be an added advantage. And this can really help you when you get into your own clinic, be it working for the public or private practice. This will really be an opportunity for you to avoid some of these things that otherwise you wouldn't know if you didn't take part in some of these things. So sometimes you build connections as well. You get to build connections with attorneys for future expert witness and opportunities, and this is really, really great. And sometimes some state require that you have like your training license already. Sometimes they require that you're a senior resident already in your training. But however, this is an opportunity that's out there that is pretty lucrative. And our last point would be virtual clinical shadowing. Here in this particular job, no license is required. You shadow physicians through Zoom to learn specialties like emergency medicine or even psychiatry. These are all fields that you can learn. And the real thing is that it exposes you to rare conditions where you can learn about rare diseases. And most of the time you get to attend to situations in like disenfranchised community or different geographies. And this helps to boost your knowledge on understanding demographics, dynamics, and the different disease prevalence in these different demographics, to demonstrate proactive learning, as this can really be very helpful into your residency. And you can attend rounds remotely. I remember when I used to be in Japan, we used to be able to join and support and do rounds with those in the Philippines, and this could be an opportunity for you to join in platforms like this to learn and enhance your knowledge. So overall, the phase and asynchronous work fit medical residents and senior students really very tightly. And leveraging and benefiting from coaching, content creation, and other services that we can provide will be another means of leveraging from our knowledge and making a little bit of side income at the same time. And if we're really smart, we can be able to make at least $2,000 per month as side hustle with our free time. Rather than scrolling on our phone, we can do something useful. So if you've liked this content and you want information like this, please hit like, subscribe, check out the description box. There's lots of cool things about getting into residency in Canada, in the USA, and even some courses. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.